Oh, yeah.
And we are live. What is up, everybody, and welcome to Hot Stove After Dark episode. Give me a second. Josh is taking his shirt off. Look at that. In the meantime, while I figure out what episode this is, you really think I should do this in before we start recording? It's Hot Stove After Dark episode 7. So yeah, welcome. I'm your host Zach Nunez. I'm here with all three of my co-hosts this time.
Hey, I'm Mark.
Hello.
Hey, hello, howdy, everybody.
Austin was apparently asleep when we recorded last week.
Yep. Packed it in.
Allegedly,
Started
or
too
dead.
late.
I mean, we said that you were dead on air.
I mean, I might as well have been. I was passed out.
Hmm.
Done.
A little
7
anecdote
p.m.
here,
to
Mark.
7
You know
a.m.
who finished? You know who finished 12th in MVP voting in 2011?
In the American League?
Yeah.
Please tell me it's Carl Crawford.
No, it's Alex Avila.
Oh,
That guy sucks.
That's gross.
yeah, he's not good. But
Let's see what he did. He hit 295 with 19 home runs that year.
yeah,
That's very unremarkable, to be honest with you.
he also caught the MVP winner, so there might have been a couple things like
Yeah, I guess. I mean, his WAR is a little bit higher. No, I can't say that because let's see here. Ben Zobrist finished 16, and his WAR was 2.5 points higher than Alex Avila. Alex Gordon finished 21st, and his WAR
I
was
remember that guy.
higher than Avila.
He's good.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. A lot of this shit is stupid. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is episode 7 of Hot Stove. Our main topic today is we're going to be doing a bastardized version of a top 10 Steven Spielberg movies. Apparently, Mark and I are the only ones here that watch movies made by popular directors, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Bad directors, you mean, yeah.
You need to stop. I will not do this today. I kind of assumed that Austin wouldn't have seen enough to fill out a top 10 in Spielberg films. I'm shocked that Josh hasn't.
Thank you. That's respect. I'll take that.
So we'll do that
Yes,
later. But in the meantime, we got a few housekeeping things while I watch the Yankees game out of the corner of my eye. On the Twitter side, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Hot Stove Pod. That's at Hot Stove Pod on Twitter. And then here on the YouTube side, make sure to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, smash that notification bell as well, and make sure to leave a comment if you feel like commenting. So that's our general housekeeping things. We got a couple things to go over before we get into our main topic here. First of which being the quote unquote research that I did about a month ago that I completely forgot about until literally now to do on the show. So I'm going to share my screen real quick and we're going to talk about some opening day home run research that I did. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
So basically, opening day this year, April 1st, we thought like a lot of old dudes were hitting home runs. It was like, this is weird. So I went back to the last decade, the last 10 opening days. And by opening day, I mean team's first game. So I know, sometimes this is why I had to wait to start doing the research for 2021 because the Nationals didn't play until like a week into the season.
Mhm.
So I went to each team's first game and calculated all of the home runs hit on the team's opening day in the last decade and got some research about it. And basically, what the initial findings are, what I thought at least, was that there's a clear sign of like a generational turnover around the middle of the decade. You can see here that in 2012, the average age was 29 and a half in terms of opening day home runs. It was above 29 again in 2014 and right around 29 again in 2015. But when you go to 2016, 2017, it gets younger. This is around the time that you see, Carlos Correa hit opening day home runs back-to-back years. But at the time, Mike Trout was still 24 years old. Bryce Harper was 23. Mookie Betts also 23 at the time. There's this generational turnover around 2016, 2017. And you'll see here going towards back towards this year, the age starts to creep up again. So it's around 2019, 29 in 2018. It's around 29 again in 2020. And then in 2021, the average age of a home run hit was 30. So basically, part of it is because we're on the cusp of that generational turnover yet again, as it stands right now. You have a bunch of people. I calculated also the oldest players to hit home runs and the youngest, like the min and max here. and I just took some extra notes because to note some players here. So we'll go through. 2012 here, the youngest home run was hit by Jay Bruce, who just retired recently, a young 25-year-old man at the time. Oldest home run by Raul Ibanez. And then we have here Carlos Lee. I think that's Luis Pena. I don't really know.
It's Carlos Pena, Josh
Pena.
Willingham, and Jack Hanahan, which is a name I did not expect to see on this list.
Yes. And then
Adam
Dunn. 2013, Bryce Harper as a 20-year-old. And I included Kershaw in here because I included any pitchers that hit home runs on opening day on the list. Kershaw as a 25-year-old hit a home run in 2013. Chase Utley, Rick Ankiel, I believe is his name.
Yep.
Dan Uggla, the man who is the most country strong man in the MLB, Ben Zobrist. Then we moved to 2014 here. We have Trout and then Marlon. I don't know who Marlon Bird is, to be 100% honest.
Former outfielder for the Phillies, did a
I believe he did his,
Yeah.
he was on the Yankees for a year.
Was he? I don't remember him.
I believe he was.
And we see some repeat offenders here, specifically Jimmy Rollins in both 2014 and 2015. And then 2015, we have two 22-year-olds hitting home runs with Mookie Betts and Bryce Harper. Ben Zobrist shows up a few times here. Edwin Encarnacion shows up a couple times.
Alex Rios in back-to-back years.
We have the random Raw Dog Steve Pierce sighting here in 2015. 2016, we have Correa, David Ortiz in his final year. Here,
Victor Martinez,
Ian Kinsler, and Robinson Cano. Robinson Cano shows up a few times as well. Kinsler's back in 2017. Correa, also the youngest to hit a home run in back-to-back years. And then the old people start to show up in 2018, 2019, 2018 and on, basically. So you have, I basically included everybody who was above the age of 32, I think, when I was writing these. So we got a bunch of them here in 2018. Shout out to Nick Markakis, I guess. That's Adam Jones, who hit opening day home runs in back-to-back years in 2018 and 2019 before, for literally no reason, he was just out of baseball.
Ridiculous.
Bellinger here. I did like to point out as well, Ulysses Chassin hit a home run on opening day in 2019. I didn't even know he was a starter, let alone an opening day starter for the Milwaukee Brewers in 2019. So, which is, again, strange that team that made the playoffs that year, with the National League MVP, was starting Ulysses Chassin on opening day.
Yeah, their opening day rotation wasn't looking great that year.
Then we go further here. I don't remember which Calhoun that was. Cole Calhoun. That's what
I was going to say. I believe that's Cole Calhoun.
Has anybody ever said it like that?
Yeah, I heard that on MLB Network once, and my dad and I have said it like that ever since. And it's been like 6 years.
I like
Has just hit a home run. He still sucks. So,
this fact.
That's the extent of the research here.
Is that
I like it. Good job.
nice?
Yeah. It was pretty uneventful. I don't know as if I actually learned all that much from it, but it was a waste of time. So
Any list that has Jack Hanahan on it is a good list.
I don't even.
I
Couldn't
think
even begin to tell you who that is.
He's a Red Sox.
I think he might have hit 38 home runs
That year or in his career?
in his career.
All right.
Also, I know he played for the Pirates and the Indians. I think I don't really remember much
That
about.
just sounds like a pirate.
I think he was.
All right. Well, before we get into our main topic of the day, Mark, you have trivia.
I do. And my first question is
Johan Santana.
What team did Jack Hanahan play for? He had 29 career Major League home runs. So
Nice. And one of them was on opening day in 2012.
for the Cleveland Indians. I was right. He played for the Indians. He didn't play for the Pirates. No, I saw this stat earlier, and this sort of blew my mind. So obviously, Cal Ripken Jr., most consecutive games played, 2,632.
You say it in quotation marks like it's some sort of fake stat or something.
Iron Man.
Right.
Excluding him, well, we'll say including him. So there's 38 players have ever played that many total games in their career. I'm not going to ask you to name the other 37. But I am going to ask you to name the top 10 in games played.
In MLB history,
Yeah.
other than
Fudge.
Cal Ripken Jr.
Yes, Cal Ripken Jr. is one of them.
Okay, well, I won't take a point.
Other.
That was the
Yeah,
point.
I was gonna say the other 9. That's on me. Pudge Rodriguez is not one of them.
Okay.
Yadier Molina.
Nope.
Adrian Beltre.
Adrian
guess-
Beltre is 14th, so close but not quite.
Hell, I guess I'm a catcher for it.
Yeah, I don't know
me
either.
too.
Ty Cobb.
Yes, Ty Cobb is 5th with 3,034.
Yastrzemski.
Yastrzemski is 2nd with 3,300.
I was gonna say Mike Yastrzemski, but okay.
Oh.
Babe-
Mazzaraki.
Did you say Bill Mazeroski?
Yeah, that's what I did. Bill
Please.
Mazzaraki.
I said Babe Ruth, by the way.
No,
Lou Gehrig.
no,
Jimmy Rollins.
no.
Not even the name I was thinking of, but that was a name.
Guerrero Jr.
Joe DiMaggio.
No.
Barry Bonds.
Yes, Barry Bonds is 10th with 2,986.
It's Cap.
The hell was that? Johnny Bench. He was also a catcher. Fuck.
Nope.
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose is 1st with 3,562.
That's my guy.
Real Iron Man, also a real cheater. So
I
Oh,
don't
he didn't
know,
cheat.
not
He just
really a
gambled.
cheater. Goat.
They've gotten
In the
3
hall.
so far.
okay.
That's it.
Derek Jeter.
No, not Derek Jeter.
Joe Morgan.
No, not Joe Morgan, but that's a solid yes.
Willie Mays.
Yes, Willie Mays is 9th. He played 6 more games than Bonds, his god.
Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron is 3rd. With 5 down, 4 to go.
Allen Iverson.
Frank Thomas.
No, not Frank Thomas.
Okay. Jim Tomey.
Nope.
I'm just thinking of guys that lingered way too long into the 2000s.
Albert Pujols.
Albert Pujols is 16th, but no.
Excuse me.
Does not appearing but being in the bullpen count?
I don't think that counts.
No, it does not.
Are there any pitchers in the remaining players?
No, it's all position players.
Figured not. Okay.
How many left do we have?
4.
You have 3 left.
Oh,
Actually.
great.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you have 3 left. You've gotten 6.
Okay. Daryl Strawberry.
No. Too much of this.
Josh Hamilton.
No, too much of this stuff.
Larry Walker.
No, not Larry Walker.
Chipper Jones.
No, not Chipper Jones. Decent guess, though.
What about Jeff Kent?
No, not Jeff Kent.
What about Rogers Hornsby?
No, not Rogers Hornsby.
What? Guy played like 900 years. What the hell are we talking about here?
Ralph Kiner.
No, not Ralph Kiner. That hell of a pull by you to even remember Ralph Kiner was a baseball player. But
Isaiah Kiner Falefa.
no, not the guy in
Starting
his
shortstop
3rd
for
year
the
for the Rangers.
All right, Mark. I see your Ralph Kiner, and I raise you Al Kiner.
That's Al Kaline. And no,
Oh,
A-Rod.
no, not A-Rod.
I'm trying to think of like the stalwarts that we might have missed.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
Yeah. Barry Bonds Sr.
No, not Bobby Bonds.
Clemente.
Cecil Fielder.
No, not Clemente, and no, not Cecil Field.
Honus Wagner.
No,
Ken
Frank
Griffey
Biggio.
Sr.
no, and no.
Dante Bichette.
There's one player from the 80s and 90s.
Vladimir Guerrero Sr.
No, not Vlad Sr.
Sammy Sosa.
No, not Sammy
Senior.
Sosa.
Barry Larkin.
No, not Barry Larkin.
Baglio Ordonez.
No.
Ooh, Bobby Abreu.
No, not Bobby Abreu, even though I don't hate that
Damn,
guy.
that dude's old as fuck when he played. I just remember him on the Yankees. Let his grandpa out here to play in right field.
Raul Ibanez.
No, not Raul Ibanez.
Jorge Posada.
No. Think
Yes,
a little
sir.
earlier.
Bernie Williams.
No, not
Oh,
Bernie Williams.
that would have been sick. That would have been a sick pull. Tino
Alfonso
Martinez.
Soriano.
Not, or one of the remaining guys played for the Yankees, but before any of the guys you're saying.
Frank Robinson.
Didn't play for the Yankees, but no, not Frank Robinson.
Damn.
Yankees in the 90s.
Early 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
So he was on
I
that
don't know,
Jeter
I don't
team
know.
in 95, probably.
No, before that.
Oh, even before that?
God.
He's
Yankees that weren't winning a championship?
He's the all-time leader in multiple categories in Major League Baseball history.
We're missing someone big.
Well, you're missing two massive guys, and one I was planning on giving you a bunch of hints, and you probably weren't going to get. But there's two massive guys you're missing.
Daryl Raspberry.
Daryl Blackberry.
Oh, that's racist. Come on now.
Oh, boo.
Oh God.
He holds a major league record that will never be broken.
Hank Aaron.
No.
Paul O'Neill.
What?
Isn't that a guy?
Yes, it's a guy.
I know currently he's part of the Yankees commentary crew.
He played for the Reds in the mid-2000s. I thought he played on the Yankees in the early 90s.
He did. Does he hold multiple major league records? One that will never be broken? No.
Who's to say?
Oh boy. I want to feel stupid.
Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson.
No.
Yes. He's fourth.
Was that the Yankee? He was a Yankee?
Yeah.
Bernie Banks.
No, but correct time period for this other guy.
Jesus.
What about Agent Cody Banks?
No.
I liked it. Pee Wee Reese.
No.
Raleigh Fingers.
The Goose. All right, Austin. Mark, give it for the last guy we got no shot on.
There's two left, and they're actually tied for games played.
Okay.
That doesn't help me at all.
No, I was just saying they both have 3,026. One of them played for one team his entire career and was heavily associated with that team. And he was a left-handed hitting outfielder / first baseman that played in the National League Central.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, how the hell am I not gonna? Is it? Oh shit! Is it Roberto Clemente?
No.
Damn it!
It was an outfielder.
His nickname was The Man. Blank the Man. What rhymes with man?
I hate it here.
I love how you can just see me rhyming them with my
The
mouth.
pitcher Dan Heron.
Is it Dan Ogla? It's not Dan. It was Dan Ogla, not called the Man.
Another name that rhymes with man.
Stansby Swanson.
Dude, I'm sugar me up and put me in the oven because I'm done. What are we talking about? The Man?
Stan the Man blank.
Oh,
That's why I said Stansby Swanson. Stan Barrett.
dude, I don't want to be a pirate. All right, yeah. So that
And
Austin got that guy then.
Wait, did he? Did he say the name?
Didn't
No.
you say Stansby Swanson?
He's
That's
just
Dansby Swanson.
Dansby Swanson.
I thought he was doing a joke.
He was.
yes, I was.
Oh, but I thought he
was
like
saying
knowingly.
Stan,
Oh, okay.
because his name's gonna be Stan. Other than unless you think you
Oh.
could find another.
Oh, his name is Stan. I'm telling you right now,
Yes.
his name is Stan.
Okay, so then what's this weirdo that we're never gonna guess?
What about?
Jeff Bagwell.
All right, I'll I give
Paul
up.
Canarco.
What about
Stan Musial.
Kevin
Who?
Nicholas?
Stan Muriel?
Musial.
Musial. What? When that guy play? 1803?
He was the best player in St. Louis Cardinals history until Albert Pujols came around.
I don't respect the Cardinals.
And I had to give you so many more hints for Stan Musial than I thought that I'm not even gonna try to have you guys guess Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murphy.
He played baseball?
Christ almighty.
I don't know who Eddie Murray is. I'm gonna be honest with you. Never heard of him.
That's fair, but oh my god. I gave you the guy's fucking first name.
I don't know. Maybe if they wheeled him out one more time in the back of a Chevy to fucking throw out the first pitch in an All-Star game, I would have known.
They did.
I know. You remember that at Busch Stadium when he was like on the back. He looked like he just got knocked out in a football game, and he was just laying in conscience in the back of this thing. They're like, "All right, Stan."
Are you sure you're not thinking of Ted Williams at the '99 All-Star game?
I'm pretty sure Stan the Man when they did it at Busch Stadium.
They probably did that too, but they did the same thing with Ted Williams. Fenway.
He's just not. No.
I've got some questions that you guys will probably get, so
All right.
don't worry. First one is going to be a classic baseball question. These are players that you should get.
That doesn't matter with these two.
No, these are players
Sure.
that you should get. 2 answers. Here's the qualifications. There are 2 players in Major League Baseball history who have done the following. There are 2 players in Major League history who have won Rookie of the Year, MVP, a batting title, a Gold Glove, a World Series, and are inducted into the Hall of Fame. Who are they?
When you first started off that question, I was like, oh, Fred Lynn. Then you said World Series, and I was like, shit, never mind.
It's not Fred Lynn.
Rookie of the Year, MVP, Gold Glove, batting title, World
Alex
Series.
Rodriguez.
No.
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays is one of them.
And
The hint that I'll give before I go look up his baseball reference page is someone mentioned him in attempting to answer Mark's question.
is it?
I'll even tell you that someone was me.
I just had a guy. Son of a bitch. Is it Cal?
No. I'll tell you that his batting title year was 1966.
Frank
Oh,
Robinson.
Mark, you're correct. It was Frank Robinson.
That was the one I had in my head until you started saying it was a guy you guessed, and I was trying to think of other people.
Yeah, Willie Mays and Frank Robinson are the only 2 players in baseball history that have won Rookie of the Year, MVP, a batting title, a Gold Glove, a World Series, and are in the Hall of Fame. I got that one from a Yankees broadcast the other day because May 6th, last Thursday, was Willie Mays' 90th birthday.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Willie Mays.
much respect, kid.
Players ever. Also, not a trivia question, but I did want to bring up that May 7th is apparently one of the most eventful days in basketball history. all four of these things happened on May 7th. Michael Jordan's The Shot over the Cavs. That happened on May 7th. May 7th, 1994, the Nuggets beat the Supersonics to become the first 8 seed to win a playoff series in NBA history. May 7th of 1990, I think it was 1996, Reggie Miller scored 8 points in 9 seconds. Maybe it was 98. I can't quite remember the year. Also happened on May 7th. And then in May 7th of 2002, Allen Iverson went on his now infamous practice rant. So all four of those things happened on the same day in their respective years. So
Pretty cool.
Love that.
Yeah.
all right, the rest of these, and I'll stick with the basketball one, actually. I do have one basketball trivia question. Steph Curry has 21 30-point games since the All-Star break this year. Josh, if I'm finishing answering this question, you know it, do not answer it. I'm just saying it right now.
Just hype for my boy, my MVP.
Oh, I thought last week I probably would have asked you and he was not your MVP. So now he's your MVP because you have money on it. You see the odds yesterday, by the way?
He's been my MVP for about a month. Huh? But
Jokic is like minus 1,800 now to win MVP.
On the website I looked at, he's minus 5,000. So
Those were the odds that I just mentioned were the William Hill odds as of last night. So
Some good value picks out there.
yeah. So Steph Curry has 21 30-point games since the All-Star break. I want you to tell me who was the last player to have 21 or more 30-point games post the All-Star break. And I'll give you an extra point if you can tell me the year.
James Harden.
James Harden 2018.
All of those are incorrect.
Well, he had like 31 in a row, just not after the All-Star break.
I do remember that. That was
30 points.
Kobe?
Mark, you're correct. Kobe Bryant was the last player to have 21 30-point All-Star games or 30-point games since the All-Star break.
And if I had to guess, I'd say 07.
Incorrect.
09.
All three of you are wrong. It was 2006.
6. Was that the year he averaged, what was it, like 35?
Yeah, it was the year that Steve Nash won the MVP and he
yeah.
averaged 36 that year or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the year I was thinking. I just couldn't remember what year it was.
So Kobe was the last one to do it. Saw that one on SportsCenter last night. All right, next, the rest of the last three I have are baseball questions. They're all current players. So I'll give you guys a choice. Do you want to do a question about on base percentage, RBI, or extra base hits?
Let's go with the advanced metrics, the on base percentage.
Okay. So this season, there are 5 players in the National League East with a 390 on base percentage or better. The most of any division in baseball. Fun fact.
We're naming him.
I just want you to tell me those 5 players.
Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper's first. Going into today, he had a 419 on base percentage.
Trey Turner?
Incorrect.
Jeff
Madrigal.
Nick Madrigal does not play in the National League East.
Yeah, he
Jeff
does.
McNeil.
Jeff McNeil is incorrect.
It's off to a terrible start.
Ronald Acuna.
Ronald Acuna is third. He has a 404 on base percentage.
Reese Hoskins?
Nope.
Ozzie Albies.
Good one.
Nope.
I mean,
Jesus Aguilar?
Nope.
Freddie Freeman.
Nope.
Trying to think of guys that got off to
I
good
couldn't name a Marlin.
Joke answer, Lindor.
Joke answer incorrect.
Didi.
Nope.
Fantasy team there. That's all that was.
I can't give too much information because we've already whittled it down to a division.
Yeah,
But I will say the 3 players remaining, one of them should be really easy. One of them is an infielder and one of them is an outfielder. Those are 3 separate players that I'm talking about.
Um,
And they all play for different teams.
Austin Riley.
Austin Riley has a 398 on base percentage. Correct. That was the infielder. So you have one outfielder and one person that is easier than you might be overthinking.
JT Realmuto.
JT Realmuto has a 415 on base percentage. Correct.
By the way, we listed 3 people on my fantasy team. I've only gotten 1. Idiot.
That's funny, actually. Wow.
We're saying it can't be a Marlin? Come on. I just don't know a Marlin. Who's the best Marlin? I know you said Aguilar.
Trying to think.
D. Gordon.
Michael Conforto.
No.
Pete Alonso?
No. Also, for the record, one, it's an outfielder, and 2, for the record, it's also not D. Strange Gordon.
Is that
Man.
What is that?
is that an orange vanilla Coke?
No, it's just a regular vanilla Coke.
Oh, nice.
Feel like I should know this.
I'll tell you this. This player has he's older than you might think, and he's bounced around to quite a few teams over the course of his career. 4 I can think of off the top of my head. What did you say?
Corey Dickerson?
Josh, Corey Dickerson has a 398 on base percentage this year. The 4 teams, obviously, that
Come on!
were the Marlins, the Rays, the Pirates, and the Rockies. That's in descending order from when he started his major league career until now.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah,
Good guess, Jeff. That's a good one.
Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Ronald Acuna, Austin Riley, and Corey Dickerson are the 5 National League East players with above a 390 on base percentage this year. All right, next one is going to be about extra base hits. So there are 104 players in Major League Baseball with 10 extra base hits this year, with at least 10. But only one of them has more extra base hits than strikeouts. I want you to tell me who that player is.
This is all Major League Baseball.
Yes, all of Major League Baseball.
Shohei Ohtani?
No, he's got a lot of throwing strikeouts too.
I don't think those count.
David Fletcher.
No.
You ever had an extra base hit?
I'm not sure.
Ryan McMahon?
Not Ryan McMahon. I'll whittle it down. Off jump says an American League player.
Nelly Cruz.
If it's a Yankee, I cut myself right on there.
It's not a Yankee.
Could not possibly be a Yankee.
This player has 15 extra base hits and 14 strikeouts this season.
Well, the player who just grounded out, I would have said his name, but there's no way he only has 15 extra base hits.
You're thinking about JD?
JD Martinez.
It's not JD Martinez.
What if it's like a little cheeky, like Christian Vasquez?
It's not. It's a good answer, though.
Oh, it could be.
Xander?
Nope.
Damn it. Oh, okay.
No, he's got more than 15, I think, now.
It's an American League outfielder.
Akil Baddoo.
It's not Akil Baddoo.
He has like 80 strikeouts.
Alex Verdugo.
Not Alex Verdugo.
Kyle Lewis.
Not a bad guess.
Not Kyle Lewis. He hasn't played. He's only played like a week this season.
Mitch Haniger.
Not Mitch Haniger.
It's gonna. I'll tell you right now. Whoever wants this free point, it's probably some bum for the Rangers.
Joey Gallo.
It's not Adolis Garcia, and it's certainly not Joey Gallo.
Hey, he might have 15 extra base hits, but he's already got 103 strikeouts. It's actually kind of amazing.
Let me see. So couldn't be Aaron Judge because he had more than that in just the last series alone. What did he go 0 for 17 with 17 Ks last series?
I don't know if it was quite that many, but he had a lot of strikeouts. Yeah.
I think it was 11. Oh, God.
I'll tell you this. Also, he's a lefty.
Oh.
Michael Brantley?
Michael Brantley is the correct answer.
Excellent job, Mark.
Thank you.
Michael Brantley is the only player in baseball with at least 10 extra base hits that has more extra base hits than strikeouts this season.
Excellent.
All right, and the last question, you're going to have to hold on with me for just a second because I'm going to talk about a specific date. September 4th, 2020. I want you to tell me who leads baseball in RBI since September 4th, 2020.
Jake Lamb.
Certainly not Jake Lamb.
He had a really good end of the year last year. That's the only reason I said that. Like the last month of the year last year.
I don't even think he's on a
this
roster
year?
this year.
I have no idea, but
Actually, that's a lie. He plays for the White Sox right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. But he
Justin
was on-
Turner?
Not Justin Turner.
Mookie Betts.
I'll tell you immediately. It's an American League.
Jose Abreu.
No, it's not Jose Abreu. He's split time between.
Brandon Lowe.
Not Brandon Lowe. He's split time between the infield and the outfield. I think currently he plays in the outfield. Actually, no. Now currently he plays in the infield.
Nick Solak.
Not Nick Solak.
I was gonna say Randy Arozarena, but he doesn't play infield. Does he? Does he play first base? Randy Arozarena?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I was
No,
just
also not him.
went on a run.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm thinking since September last year, who had a hot finish to the season?
So I'll give you this hint. The reason that date, I selected that date
He hit 5.
was because prior to September 4th, he had 17 at-bats that season.
Jared Walsh.
Yeah, Mark, you're right. Jared Walsh of the Los Angeles Angels
He's having a great year.
He is.
leads baseball. He's hitting like 340 this year. He's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Leads baseball with 55 RBI since he became an everyday player in September of 2020. That's why that date was significant, because September was his first day as a everyday player, and it was his first start of the season, maybe his second. And since then, he's played pretty much every day for the Angels, and has been awesome.
Yeah, that guy's good.
Yeah, Jared Walsh is the answer. All right,
Playoffs.
that does it for trivia today.
All right.
It was almost an hour, I think we just spent on trivia.
Well, if we were any better, it could have been 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. That's
We
true.
I just stink.
All right. Well, Mark, you and I are going to start because the rest of these people don't have a list that goes out as far.
I have 10.
I know. Mark and I are going to.
Oh, you got 15. That's right.
Yeah, Mark and I are going to blast through 15 through 10, and then Austin will hop in, and then Josh.
I'll be on the side until you say one of mine, and like you're 14. I'll be like, you asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I will stay tuned because you will definitely have. Actually, no, that's a lie. Never mind. You will not, because it will not touch your top 25. So
You will have one of mine in your bottom 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sure that I might have one of the 7 that you've seen might not even be on the list. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. There
Anyways,
could be.
I don't even
I'm
know.
telling-
Have we talked about? Have I said it on air what we're doing today?
Yeah, you said it earlier.
At the beginning of the show.
Oh, we're doing our top 15. Mark and I are doing 15 at least. Spielberg movies. I don't know.
They
If
can tell.
I don't know if I mentioned Spielberg by name. I just mentioned that Josh hadn't seen any of his movies, which surprised me. But
Yeah.
So we're doing Spielberg. This is gonna be
Seen
our
this one.
crossover special.
Not a Spielberg.
This is the greatest crossover in podcast history between Hot Stove and the C-Listers podcast, which Mark has not done an episode for in probably a year at this point.
No, it's been a few months. It's been probably 6 months.
For me, it's been since last spring when Mark and I did our top 10 Scorsese episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, we didn't do top 10. Well, I did top 10, or no, I did top 15. Mark ranked all of them.
Yeah, because I had seen all of them.
Yeah. But we're gonna do Spielberg today. And since
I'll get a real Spielberg movie.
Since Josh and Austin are hopping in at random points, Mark and I are just gonna kind of get through the first 5 here. Yep, Avatar, another Spielberg classic. What was that other movie that James Cameron produced that sucked? It came out around the same time as Avatar. It was a movie about like these cave divers. They got stuck in a cave.
Oh.
I don't know, actually.
Based off the Chilean one? I'll look up.
No, I don't think it was based off of that. I'll look it up.
Honorable mention for me, number 11. I'm just fucking with you.
I don't.
Had to be a Spielberg movie because it sucked.
Shut up. Damn it. All right.
Anyway,
we could do a top 10. We might do a top 10 Cameron one at some point.
Sorry, are you thinking of Sanctum?
Yes, that movie sucked.
I don't know that one actually.
That is all.
It was not good. Anyways, Mark, why don't you tell me what your number 15 is?
It's The Color Purple.
Good choice.
I don't really have much to say about this movie. It's fine. I have it at a 78. It's pretty good. I haven't seen it in a long time, and it's just, I don't know, never really left that big of an impression on me.
Now, I don't want to say this in blasphemous terms because Steven Spielberg has made many of my favorite movies of all time.
Agreed.
You get the sense doing this list that Spielberg's career as a whole might be a little overrated?
I wouldn't say that. I'd say because he's gone on a stretch right now of not great.
And he also had that stretch in the 90s as well. In the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. I wouldn't say his entire career is overrated. I like his early 2000s stuff, so I disagree with you there.
Look, I'm talking about a certain set of his movies that may or may not include War of the Worlds.
Yeah, you're talking basically the Terminal to
AI, artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Those movies.
Yeah, I wouldn't say his entire career is overrated just because the impact he's left on movies in general is so massive.
I only say it in the sense of like, I don't think as a entire body of work, and part of it is because he's done more movies.
It's not all perfect.
I don't think it holds up to a Scorsese, for example.
No, it doesn't.
I don't think it holds up to a Kubrick, for example.
Yeah.
Or even to, I don't know, what's another example?
Like
Hitchcock.
A James Cameron.
No, James Cameron has definitely been more spotty for me. And Hitchcock made so many movies that it's impossible for him.
Yeah, Hitchcock made some stinkers, trust me.
Hitchcock made almost like 80 feature films during his career. It was, yeah. Facebook guy, question mark? Are you talking about Mark Zuckerberg, Austin?
Oh, that's not Steven Spielberg?
That's
my bad.
Anyways,
I also
15 for me is Munich. It's a movie that I think it's all right. You know,
it's my number 14. So.
It's part of the Spielberg time where, like, again, I think he hit kind of a lull in the late 90s to early 2000s. You know, Munich came out in 2005. So I don't know. I think the movie's good, but
yeah, it's my 14. It's solid. It's a good historical sort of movie. You
Yeah,
know,
this was right around the time because this was right before like War Horse and Lincoln. This was right around the time that Spielberg was about to get into his history bag.
yeah,
Movies like Bridge of Spies and other like that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you
Uh,
just want to get into your 14,
Yeah, my 14 is The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2. I think it's a movie that gets unnecessary hate from a
Agreed.
lot of Jurassic Park fans. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's a pretty good movie up until the very end of it. When they go to that's the one where they go like to the city, right? At the
Yeah,
end
they
of
go
it?
to San Diego.
Yeah, around that part is where the movie stops being good. To be
Yeah,
honest,
I really like the island stuff in that movie. It just missed my list, but I do like the Lost World, and it does get too much hate.
yeah. So Lost World is number 14 for me.
My 13, you already mentioned, is Lincoln, and that's mostly because of Daniel Day-Lewis. The movie itself is rather boring, but Daniel Day-Lewis is so good in that movie that he brings it up a solid 10 points for me.
Like the audience is actually going to be able to see Austin's constant name changes. So I think keep it going. This is funny.
But yeah, so that's Lincoln. Daniel Day-Lewis is so good in that movie.
Yeah. My number 13 is probably going to be my biggest hot take, I guess, if you want to put in quotation marks, of the whole list. My number 13 is E.T. E.T. is a movie that I like quite a bit, obviously, but it's not a movie I grew up with. I think a lot of people love E.T. for like the sentimental value behind it, which is perfectly fine, right? Like that's how people experience media.
I don't feel the need to defend it. The movie stinks.
The movie does not stink. I don't think it stinks. It's just, I don't know. I don't quite have the attachment to it that a lot of people do. I think it's a good movie. I certainly don't think it's like an all-time classic family film. I think it's a classic. It's certainly a classic movie. Absolutely. Certified classic. But I don't know. There's probably a lot of movies from that era that fit in the same like family mold that I would choose over E.T. I do like the movie though. Obviously, that's why it's number 13 for me.
Yeah, I don't hate it being there. I don't think that's that much of a hot take. My 12 is Empire of the Sun. I don't know if you've seen this one, Nunez.
I have not.
It's pretty solid. It's got a like 12-year-old Christian Bale in the lead. It's from 1987. And it's him and John Malkovich. He's a boy growing up in Japan. He's an English boy growing up in Japan, and it's World War II. So it's like
Spielberg loves him some World War II.
Yeah. But Bale, you can see from an early age, Bale had this whole acting thing down. Like, he's still a kid, so he's not perfect, but really good performance by him. I like the movie. I would give it a recommendation. It's a little long. It's like 2.5 hours, but
yeah, nothing is going to be as hot of a take as Mark not having Wolf of Wall Street in his top 10 Scorsese movies. That nothing's going to be as hot as that.
No, because it's not.
We will just fundamentally disagree on that forever.
And I'm like, people are acting like you act like, oh, I hate the Wolf of Wall Street. I just loved all of Martin Scorsese's movies so much that it was just hard for me to put it in my top 10. And you're like, you're an idiot. I had it like 12.
No,
you're an idiot, Mark.
I had it number 2 for anybody who's wondering. Number 2, only behind Goodfellas. That was my my Scorsese ranking. But anyways, number 12 might also be a hot take, but I don't know. The movie's 3.5 hours long, and it's really tough to get through. That's Schindler's List. Number 12 for me.
Okay, that's a very hot take.
Tough to get through, not in the sense that it's a bad movie. It's a great movie. It just doesn't, I don't know. It's a movie I've seen once, and I never care to see again.
Yeah.
Because of the emotional toll that it takes on you. Yeah, I don't know.
Let's just say I thought I had Schindler's List too low, and it's in my top 5.
Okay.
So,
well, yeah, it's number 12 for me.
Yeah. My number 11 is Minority Report. This movie's pretty cool.
I love Minority Report.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the one movie that makes me push back against this, and another movie we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
That makes me push back against the Spielberg lull from the 90s to the 2000s. Minority Report and X movie that we will name later are the two that break that mold. Basically.
Yeah, this movie is just really cool, and I think it's I think Tom Cruise is cool in it. I like the entire concept of the movie. I think it's an awesome sort of issue that they're dealing with, and it makes for a really interesting movie. And if I remember correctly, Max von Sydow was in that, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and I like him in anything. So
I love Minority Report. It's higher on my list.
it was tough for me not to put it in my top 10, but it's just below another one.
Minority Report is the start of the rest. So Minority Report's number 10 for me. We'll jump the gun a little bit. The top 10 of my Spielberg movies are all movies that I certifiably love.
Yeah, me too.
And Minority Report is right up there with them. But Steven Soderbergh. Number 11 for me is a movie we've already talked about. It's Lincoln, and it's a movie that I don't know, I find the history behind the movie fascinating, but generally speaking, Mark is right in that it's kind of a boring movie. But
yeah,
the reason that I place it so high is because it's anchored by one of the greatest performances in cinematic history.
Yep.
Legitimately. Daniel Day-Lewis as Abraham Lincoln is one of the best performances I've ever seen. And that is worth placement this high alone.
It's probably, for me, it's up there with Leto's Joker.
In terms of
Clooney's Batman.
a different person kind of a thing.
No,
No, I know, I'm agreeing with you. That's
you also didn't hear him say Leto's Joker and Clooney's Batman.
I didn't hear Clooney's Batman. I didn't hear that. You're right. You're right. I prefer Val Kilmer's Batman, actually.
Yeah.
But Lincoln's number 11 for me, and rightfully so.
Yeah, number 10 for me is E.T. I couldn't bump E.T. from my top 10. I thought about it, but I do have somewhat of an emotional connection to that movie. I saw it when I was very young, and I really liked it. And it also scared the crap out of me when they quarantined the house, and it was all the tents and shit was very scary to me as a young child. But I really like E.T., so it's my number 10.
Yeah, so do I. And I already mentioned a number 10 for me is Minority Report. I think a movie, like you said, it's just such a cool movie.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
That's the best
such
word
a
I have
cool
to
and
describe it.
futuristic movie for the early 2000s. I don't know. It's one of those it's one of those underrated sci-fi, pure sci-fi kind of movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's one of those rare movies from that era because there aren't a ton of great movies from the early 2000s. Really, you have the Lord of the Rings movies and a few other things, but for the most part, it's what's that?
It's like Gladiator,
but it's not a great era for movies, especially sci-fi movies, and it holds up in an era in a genre that wasn't really strong at that time. So that's pretty cool too.
So, Austin, you have a top 10, yes?
Yes, I do.
All right, I want you to jump in with number 10 here.
Number 10 here might be controversial, might be higher on people's lists here. Rotten Tomatoes seem to love it. Catch Me If You Can. It's going to be my number 10. Really solid cast, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Christopher Walken. I mean, what a crazy cast. But what is the ad? What is it advertised? Is this Tom Hanks chasing Leonardo DiCaprio? What is this? What is the cover of this movie? I can't get over it. What is
kind of the plot of the movie? Yeah.
Yeah, it is the plot of the movie.
Yeah, but
I will tell you, we'll
the
talk
plot
about
of the movie is not Tom Hanks 4 inches behind Leonardo DiCaprio,
No, it's not
lightly
physically
jogging.
chasing him.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Austin, I will tell you this. We'll talk about it later because it's higher on my list. You would like that movie a lot. You should absolutely watch Catch Me If You Can.
I might, but I have to say I just don't like the cover. And judge a book by its cover, ladies and gentlemen. Don't watch this movie.
Do you have a letter grade associated with it?
Yes, I gave this one an F-.
All right. Well, but yeah, I think it's a movie that you would really enjoy. So I definitely recommend it. I love Catch Me If You Can.
It's my number 9. And I have it in 87. I think it's a really good movie. And it is really enjoyable. And Hanks and DiCaprio are both awesome in it. And so is Walken, actually. I really like Walken in that movie. It is a ton of fun. Like, that's another one. It's just a fun movie. And I do think you would like it quite a bit, Austin, if you actually gave it a shot. So
Spielberg is like the master of like movies that are just fun as shit. And also either fun as shit or really, really depressing. And
there's no in between.
But like, usually think of movies like a Catch Me If You Can, or even like an E.T. Like, if another director made those movies, they'd probably be like, I don't know, movies that are fairly anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Catch Me If You Can wasn't directed by Steven Spielberg and didn't have his expertise behind the camera, it would probably have just been another movie that came out in the early 2000s with some good performances, but like it didn't really jump off the screen like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's where Spielberg's like mastery lies, is in that kind of stuff. Like he's the master of like the fun blockbuster film.
I think the only other director I can think of that could have made that movie work is actually Soderbergh. I think that would have been a cool Soderbergh movie.
Or even like it was around the time of a Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. So I think like early 2000s Shane Black could have done that movie.
Yeah, that would have been cool too.
But yeah, no, absolutely. My number 9 is Spielberg's first film. It was a TV film. It's Duel is number 9 for me.
I didn't expect Duel to be on anyone's list.
I love Duel.
Duel is cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It didn't make my list. I thought we were doing just theatrical releases.
I thought we were doing like the good ones, so I did a top 10. So yeah.
Well, Duel is my number 9. Like I said, Spielberg's first feature. It was a TV film at the time, and I think it's one of the most underrated thrillers in movie history. Like, I think the sense of tension that you get out of just a truck following this guy it's surprisingly good. Like, you'd think that a movie on that small of a budget, from at the time a director that nobody knew, again, a movie that was just pushed out to TV, that movie is really, really effective as a thriller. I think it's awesome. It's an adrenaline rush for the entire runtime. I think Duel is a really cool exercise in tension, in suspense. Like, yeah, I love Duel. Austin, what's your number 9?
My number 9 here, coming in with an F, is Temple of Doom.
Pain. That's
people going out expanding their minds in 1984, maybe seeing something like 1984, or maybe they went and saw Karate Kid, or maybe they saw The Natural. Maybe they were going out and trying to Revenge of the Nerds. Maybe they were trying to see good movies. They went and saw an Indiana Jones movie. And so, they didn't enjoy it. They might have. It might have made them, eat some extra piece of popcorn. They were nervous. He might got caught. He might got hit by a booby trap. I don't know. But all
Austin,
I know.
Two things. I'm sorry to interject here. Can I guess what you're basing this list on?
I base it off nothing.
Okay, because you've mentioned the Rotten Tomatoes score both times here. So I didn't know if you were just basing it on that.
The Rotten Tomatoes score? What was the Rotten Tomatoes score for this one?
I don't know. Did you not just mention Rotten Tomatoes when you were talking about Temple of Doom? Am I smoking crack?
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear
things up here. Jesus.
I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes list, but this one's like 16th on Rotten Tomatoes. Should be higher. Should be like 10.
It should absolutely be higher. And that movie,
where I have it.
Because so a lot of I'll say probably the reason. What's Temple of Doom's Rotten Tomatoes score?
84%.
No, it should be higher than that, but I digress. I think a lot of the reason. So, fun anecdote about Temple of Doom that I don't know. I'm sure Mark knows, but I don't know about the other two. Is that Temple of Doom's the reason the PG-13 rating exists?
Yep.
Basically, Spielberg took the franchise in a far darker direction with the second film. You got dudes getting their hearts ripped out, and there's like all these like cultish rituals going on in the movie, and parents threw a shit fit when the movie was rated PG. So the MPAA created a PG-13 rating because of Temple of Doom. So it kind of got a bad rap as like this ultra violent take on Indiana Jones, and it is. I mean, it's a lot more violent than the other movies, but I love Temple of Doom. We'll talk about that much later.
I was going to talk about it now because it's my number 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me and Mark just know movies.
It's my third favorite of the Indiana Jones movies that count. All right, it's my third favorite Indiana Jones movie. It's not as like I really like it still. I have it in 87, and it is a super dark turn. The main reason it's this low for me is I do not like Short Round. I just don't think it's a great character. Plain and simple. So
You don't like his over exaggerated Asian accent?
no,
Mr. Jones.
it's rather a prequely to call back to last week. But the rest of the movie I think is awesome. I think it's got some of the coolest stuff in Indiana Jones movies. Like the all the cultish stuff is really cool. And I love the opening sequence in like the nightclub.
Yeah.
I think that's an awesome way to open the movie.
The poison dates.
Yeah.
It's one of the best sequences in all of the Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah.
And he has to drink the chalice.
Yeah.
That's
Spoiler. That's a
that third one.
spoiler.
That's Last Crusade. Okay. Well, I appreciate Josh and Austin doing everything they can to hijack this list. Number 8 for me is The Post. Another movie that Mark probably didn't expect for me to see.
Boo!
Boo!
That movie stinks.
That movie does not stink. Look, man.
That's one of my least favorite Spielberg movies.
Mark is gonna hate on me, and that's fine.
The movie's so fucking boring. Just watch All the President's Men. It's so much better.
That's fair. Fair. But you know what? I don't give a fuck what you think. All right. I love journalism procedurals, and I thought The Post was really well made. Was it Oscar baity? 1,000,000,000,000%. It was Oscar baity. I don't care. I think it was well written. It was well made.
Mark has left the show.
Should it be this high? Probably not. In hindsight, I probably should move it down. Is it better than Duel, Minority Report, Schindler's List? No. You know what? No, you might be right about that one. But as it sits, it was number 8 when I wrote this, so I can't take it back. Mark, we just made an addendum to my list.
Okay.
Or a mental note, at least. In hindsight, The Post should not be this high. That being said, I still like the movie a lot. But if I were to redo it, I'd probably move it down to like 12, 13.
That I'll accept that. I don't think this should be in anyone's top 10
I
Spielberg.
don't give a shit if you'll accept it. I do not care. But
Well, no, number 8, spoiler, The Post. Yeah, I mean, for the same reason I really didn't like Catch Me If You Can, I love The Post. You come out, you basically give a blank cover that just says Streep Hanks. Like, he knows what he's doing. He doesn't give a shit. He says, this movie might suck, but look who's in it. And that's just an alpha move. You know when people saw that movie because oh, look who's in it. Going to see it. I mean, it's just an alpha move. What a flex. Love to see it. And that's why it's actually my first grade above an F. It's an F+. F+. It was boring. Haven't seen it, but Mark told me it was. So I couldn't really get into it, but that cover. So, yep.
I couldn't really get into it. You never.
all right. Mark, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. What was that sigh for? Is this way too low in your opinion?
No, I don't have it on my list at all.
Oh, okay.
I think
Have
it's
you seen it? Oh, I really like it. I think it's really cool. Another, I feel like this one is like gone from being like a sci-fi like must see to being an underrated sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
like I feel like not enough people talk about it anymore because there's a lot of great sci-fi movies, and I personally think this is one of them. I've liked this movie since I was a kid. The first time I watched it was because my uncle had like the poster like hanging in the basement, and I was just mesmerized by the poster when I was like 5-6 years old, and I watched the movie like not too long after that, and I've loved it ever since. I think it's a really cool movie.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's good. I just wouldn't. It would not. It's not in my top 15. I don't think the movies outside of my top 15 are bad.
Yeah,
Per se. I joke about Bridge of Spies all the time. Bridge of Spies was a fine movie.
it's very okay.
Didn't make it in my top 15. What else? Did he direct BFG? Was that Spielberg?
Oh
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Ready Player One? That's not in the
Yeah.
list either. The Adventures of Tintin. That was a pretty good movie. It's not my top.
I don't really like Tintin.
But anywho. Austin, what's your number? Or Josh, tell me what your
We got
number.
a 7.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're at 7. What's the worst Spielberg movie that you've seen?
Grading system. I'll start it off nice and easy, like Austin is. I'll start with my F grade, and that's Crystal Skull. It's kind of like a mainstream choice. The media's gotten to me, but also out of the 7 movies I'm listing, I think it's quite clearly the worst. So
That's one of Spielberg's worst movies.
yeah.
Like I said, I don't think it quite gets the right. I don't think it quite deserves the amount of hate that it gets. I still don't think it's good.
Yeah.
I think if you squint hard enough, on the best day in terms of me thinking about it, it's an average movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is still, and that's me only having seen one other Indiana Jones movie too. I imagine if I'd watched the first 2 in the franchise, I'd hate it even more.
Well, I will say that there's a lot of people that consider Last Crusade to be their favorite Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
It's very good. I think all 3 of them are like A-level movies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I understand why people were upset with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
I get that. Austin, what was your number 7?
Number 7, coming in as the worst rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
1941.
Hook.
What?
Got a 29%, by far the worst on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Hook.
Critics hated Hook.
Yeah, but it had Robin Williams and Julia Roberts. Love it.
Dustin Hoffman.
Who cares about Dustin Hoffman? So pretty good there. Love those 2. That's about it. Love the actors.
Hook's a
Love
good
that
movie.
love the underdog story. Give me Hook.
Underdog story. It's Peter Pan. What are you talking about? The underdog.
It's the worst. It's the worst movie ranked on Rotten Tomatoes. That's the
you
underdog
seen-
story.
That's
Have you
insane
seen
to
it?
me, giving 1941 exists.
Have you seen it, Austin? Have you seen Hook?
I've seen 3. No, seen. I've seen 1 Steven Spielberg movie from start to finish.
Wow. Okay.
Spoiler. That's
I
not-
know which one it is.
I'd imagine I do too.
My number 7, we've already talked about it, is Catch Me If You Can. Great movie. We've already talked about it. It's a great movie. Let's move
Yeah,
on. Mark, what's your number
The cover's tough
My
though.
number 6 is The Last Crusade. This is where if we were doing, because I do have a distinction between favorite and best. If we were doing favorite, this would be higher for me because like on any given day, this goes back and forth with Raiders for me. I adore Sean Connery in this movie. I mean, he is just so incredible in this movie. And there's some great stories I've heard told about like being on the set of this movie and stuff by Harrison Ford. Like, Harrison Ford had a story where Sean Connery, he would like come in and he'd be like, yeah, I think that I think I should like, know what this is already. And they're like, why? You have no experience with this. And this is where I'll break out the Connery accent. I'm his father. I should have done it first, and I should have done it better. And he just walked away. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And this movie's awesome. Another great opening. Indiana Jones movies always have great opening sequences. Even Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I really like that opening.
That was like the one good part of the movie.
Yeah. But another one with young Indiana Jones, and like you find out why he's afraid of snakes and why he's got a fedora. Like, just awesome movie.
Yeah, The Last Crusade is also number 6 for me. I love the movie. I really do. I think it did so much in terms of providing almost all of like the emotion and attachment that a lot of people have to Indiana Jones as a character. Like previously, they just cut it off after Temple of Doom. You're like, oh, okay. I know a few things about the guy. They're really well made, all-time action serials. Cool.
Yeah.
And then you see Last Crusade, and yeah, Sean Connery provides so much as Indy's dad, and it's such a great dynamic between the two. It's my favorite like pairing in all of the Indiana Jones movies, because Indy always has someone with him.
Yeah.
A partner of sorts.
Easily
It's
the best
one of the 4. And it's I love The Last Crusade. Like this is now the top 6 for me are all like all-time great movies I don't have anything bad to say about.
Yeah, me.
I love The Last Crusade. So Austin, what do you guys got?
For 6, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is so I'll play catch up here. Another one I've seen and care less for. E.T. E.T. If I had to give it a grade, I guess to keep up with it, I'll give it a D. Give it a D. I really don't hold any rewatch value. Don't care for it. I like doing a little accent every once in a while, though. You know, E.T. phone home. Make a lot of penis jokes about that. You know, E.T. dome home, and he has to go home. I don't know, man. The point is, I don't like the movie. So, go Steven.
Yeah. I want to let it be known to the crowd. Hook actually got an F double plus.
Okay.
Just for everyone out there. Number 6. Some say this was the best acting performance since Hayes MacArthur as Chester. If you know what movie I'm talking about, you know what movie I'm talking about. This was Lincoln. We talked about it briefly. Great acting performance. Not as good as Chester, but almost there. So yeah, of course that's gonna hit my top 10. It's gonna be 6. Love the concept, love the idea, love the acting. All I didn't like was that I didn't watch it. So
loved the concept, loved the idea. It's
D-.
It's a biopic.
Love the idea of the movie. I love the concept. They made up a really good story for this one.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's crazy. They just had the whole war about the country falling apart. Wild.
Mark, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Saving Private Ryan. Gonna be higher on the rest of the list, I'm assuming.
That's not even on mine.
It's a great movie. I'm not going to sit here and act like it isn't. I just like the other 4 better, and say it also has. I don't know if I've ever laughed harder than the when they're storming the beaches of Normandy and the guy gets
stop.
He gets shot in the helmet and takes it off. And the guy goes, "Wow, you're lucky," and then he just takes another one to the head.
Stop it.
It's so funny. It's hilarious. The first time I saw that when I was like 13, I was watching it with a couple of friends. We were just laughing our asses off.
Number 5 for me is Jurassic Park. Again, like I said, my top 6 movies are movies I can't say bad things about. I adore Jurassic Park. It's a flawless piece of blockbuster filmmaking. It's a flawless piece of science fiction filmmaking. The rest of the movies in the universe have not done it justice, to say the least.
I like the first Jurassic World movie.
I don't. So
No?
I guess good for you. I'm glad that you like it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
But yeah, I absolutely adore Jurassic Park. No bad things to say about it. It's a classic of film. What do you want me to say? You know,
Yeah.
It's Jurassic Park. There's not much more I can add to this conversation.
Welcome to the same top 5 because I also have it. Put it down. That's my 5.
Coming
Do
in
you
number
like the movie? Like, is it beyond the? You gave.
Oh.
D? Like what?
Yeah, is it beyond the D level? I hate it. Yeah, this starts the movies I actually like from him.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good clarification to have.
My number 5 is a little bit of a guilt. Number 5, terrible movie, terrible concept, terrible idea, but it's an all-time classic. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know. Indiana Jones movies just aren't really that good objectively, not subjectively, of course.
You gotta cut this man's mic off.
But I understand its value. It's a classic. It's the movie that everyone talks about. It's the movie that's always portrayed in cartoons and everywhere, TV shows. Everybody talks about it. So I gave it the D it deserves.
What I think is the funniest about this is I'm assuming this is not the one that you've seen.
No.
Okay. Okay. I think that's still what makes it the funniest, is that Austin is saying all these things definitively about movies that he has not seen.
Yes.
Mark, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Schindler's List. Just an incredible piece of filmmaking. And yeah, it is tough to get through, but I feel like when you get through it, you feel like you accomplish something, and that you just witness something that could changes the way you look at how movies can be made. It also came out the same year as Jurassic Park, and that's wild to me. But Schindler's List is phenomenal, and I love that movie. In the most, I don't enjoy how I feel watching it all the time. I still love it.
It's funny because a different Spielberg film is actually the king of that for me. The king of, I love the movie. I certainly do not have a good time watching it. But I don't know. Number 4 for me is the blockbuster. It's the movie that made the term. It's Jaws is number 4. It's another movie that again, there's not much I can say about it. It's a masterpiece of horror filmmaking. It's again the blockbuster. This is the reason we think of movies as summer events, is because of Jaws. It's such the problem with talking about this top 5 is that all of these movies that we're talking about are so ubiquitous in popular culture. There's nothing I can add to the conversation of how good Jaws is, or how good the characters are in Jaws. How awesome all of the scenes with Chief Brody on the boat are. What the hell do you want me to say about it? It's Jaws.
It's Jaws.
Josh, Austin, you tell me number 4. What is it?
My number 4 is where I get The Last Crusade. I had seen I started, the first thing I saw from it was him on the platforms at the end. Literally the entire ending of the movie I watched first and then rewatched it. This is the first time I watched Indiana Jones thing. And it's sick. That was that's my origin story for Dr. Jones. So yeah, I liked it.
Austin?
Love that. My 4 is Jurassic Park. I've seen bits and pieces of this movie. Love the concept. Love the idea. Altogether, really thought it was poorly done. However, it's
I like what I've seen. Poorly done movie.
Cool, intriguing topic. Cool thoughts and ideas. Didn't love it. Didn't hate it. Overall, a D+ for me.
It's the highest grade yet.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's 4, not 7.
That's impressive.
Mark, what's number 3 for you?
It's Jaws. I love Jaws. my mom like made me watch it at a very young age because she wanted me to be as scared as she was the first time she saw it. Because she was like, this is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. And I didn't go swimming in a lake or ocean for like 2 years after this came out. So she wanted me to watch it when I was like 5, and I watched it when I was like 5. And yeah, it was the scariest shit I had ever seen. And the shark doesn't really hold up, but it was 1975. What do you want? Like,
well, and part of what makes Jaws so effective is that, like, look, again, I'm beating a dead horse that's already been talked about in film discourse for almost 50 years at this point.
mm-hmm.
It's like, what makes the movie so effective is that, like, the shark didn't fucking work, so they couldn't put it on camera as much as they wanted to because the animatronic didn't work.
Yeah.
Which ended up making the movie that much better, because had they just shoehorned the shark in the whole time, it would have been far less effective as like a predator.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess one of the greatest technical mishaps in film history turned out to be for the better. It changed movies, like, just generally speaking. Number 3 for me is Temple of Doom. I look, man, like I said, all of the top 6 movies or whatever are movies I can't say bad things about. I adore Temple of Doom. You know, the risks that it took with the Indiana Jones franchise, making it like some dude gets his heart ripped out in the movie. Indy almost gets his heart ripped out in the movie.
Yeah.
Mulder Ram is just here ripping hearts out the whole time. Kali Ma and all like the rituals and everything. Like, I thought it was a really cool step to take. Moving on from like the biblical supernatural nature of raiders with the Nazis and whatnot. And Spielberg said, you know what? If this is a tribute to old 40s serials, let's change the whole thing up. Instead of Nazis and the Bible, which they went back to in Last Crusade, but instead of Nazis and the Bible, this time it's a cult. It's a satanic cult, and they're ripping hearts out and turning and brainwashing people and turning them into slaves and shit. It's such a cool concept, and it has, specifically that opening scene at the club. It has some of my favorite moments in all of the Indiana Jones. The bridge scene.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, love Temple of Doom.
My 3 here. This is where I'll side with Mark as well. Jaws. It's definitely just like, if I saw it back in the day, like, yeah, the scariness adds up. I think it's just you can respect it for the movie it is now. How well it's portrayed, kind of to your point, Nunez. The suspense of the shark. Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of scary though, to be honest with you. The shark kind of sucks, but like, it builds an immense.
The tension building is
the first time you watch it, for sure. Yeah, I like it. Austin, which movie are you gonna degrade now?
Before we go to that, I just want to make something clear. Obviously haven't seen them, so don't know. Do they call him Indy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dr. Jones.
I mean, that's.
Let's
move on from that. Number 3, C-, ladies and gentlemen.
It's huge.
E.T.
We've got a movie that would receive college credit, and it's E.T.
Yeah, I happen to see none of this movie, but I did see a Robot Chicken sketch about E.T., and he gets bullied the whole time, and it's really funny, and he just wants to get on like a spaceship and fly home and get the hell out of Earth because everyone's just bullying him and mocking his little finger thing. It's actually really funny. And I think there's a bunch of skits about that little freak. So I think it's just, I mean, honestly, it's just a great piece of content. So E.T.'s number 3, C-.
Oh my God. That little freak.
I've seen none of it, but I saw a Robot Chicken sketch.
Don't they like fly over the moon in a shopping cart?
Yeah.
A bicycle.
And
with the basket on top.
Yeah.
It's in front of the moon. Whatever.
No, over the moon.
Mark, what's
to the moon.
My number 2 is Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's a good movie and not whatever the fuck Austin said it was.
Yeah. I mean, good for Indiana Jones. So like a good D or worse movie. Yes.
It's a fucking incredible piece of filmmaking, and
For Spielberg, I mean, that's fine.
And it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
I'm trying to think of. Oh wait, never mind. I know what Mark's number 1 is.
Oh yeah, that one's.
I was trying to rack my brain about what was missing. Anyways, number 2 for me is Saving Private Ryan. That's the king of movies I don't have fun watching. But Saving Private Ryan is one of my favorite movies ever. Or to me, at least, it's one of the best films ever made. It is, to me, zero question, the best war film ever made. It's a movie that, without being a horror film, is legitimately terrifying in most parts of it. I think it's one of the few movies that truly nails the horrors of war, as people talk about them in air quotes, in a way that so many other movies can't do. I saw this movie in theaters like a year and a half ago, 2019, I think it was. They were doing Fathom was doing like
a re-release.
Yeah, a re-release of it, and yeah, it was so. I took my mom for her birthday. It's one of her favorite movies. So,
I would love to see that in theaters.
It was an experience, not necessarily a fun one, but an impactful one.
Yeah.
So I adore Saving Private Ryan. It's a perfect movie.
Josh,
My number 2.
Hot Shots Part 2.
Part 2. No, this is we got Lincoln for my number 2. I'm a big history nut, so I mean it was.
Oh, so some would say you like the idea of the movie.
I loved.
I'm not 100% sure we're talking about history here, but like the plot and the story of the movie is a good idea.
Yeah, it was a good
the
idea.
concept I could do without.
Yeah.
Wonderful, and yeah, I liked it. I liked it.
Also,
it is slow.
Major MLB news. The Angels, after taking Ohtani off the mound, subbed him in at right field to keep him in the lineup.
Awesome.
Pretty good.
Much respect, dog.
In the field today. Anyways, Austin, what's your number 2?
Number 2, haven't seen it, spoiler, but iconic music, Jaws, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, just the classic, everyone's done it in their life at least 100 times, it's just a classic, I haven't seen it, but I know it's a classic. That's how you know it's good.
Haven't seen it.
When you know something's a classic.
We got a grade on that, Austin?
Yeah, this is my grade. So because it's really terrible, because it's an old movie and old movies are terrible. C+, but a C+ considering what we've seen today has to be astonishingly high. And it's really just for, the factor of its staying power in the media, Some of these E.T. was great. It's a classic, but like, how many people are really talking about E.T. nowadays? People still talk about Jaws. People still use references from Jaws. People still don't go in the ocean because of fucking Jaws. I mean, what are we talking about? Nobody doesn't get on their fucking bike with a basket because E.T. might stick his finger somewhere.
But a lot of people will say, fool. They'll make the stupid noise all the time.
I haven't heard someone go E.T. in at least 10 years.
Not hanging around the cool kids, bro.
I see a TV show of a lifeguard going, shark! Every day because Jaws. I mean, nobody gets eaten by sharks, but this movie's made you think you do. So, it's got to have some credit. C+, Jaws.
I know you're doing a bit, maybe, but can I talk about how I think how ridiculous the whole like old movies are bad argument is?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's like the most short-minded shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean subjectively bad. I mean objectively
Right,
bad. Of course.
objective.
Of course.
It's just not. It's just a terrible.
Go.
Yeah, it's understandable. Mark, we know what your number one is. Just say it.
Yeah, it's Jurassic Park. It's on the short list of one of my 5 favorite movies of all time.
Oh,
I-
you love the idea and concept as well.
I do love the idea and concept. I think it's an excellent script with quite possibly the best the visual effects that hold up the best. Like
Yeah.
the fact that the CGI looks that good for 1993 is unreal.
Yeah.
And I know they obviously did a ton of animatronic stuff and practical effects with the dinosaurs, but the CGI dinosaurs look incredible.
It's a technical marvel, and I still can't believe watching it today that it came out almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, when you first see that, like the dinosaurs in the field, you get that first shot of the brachiosaur like going up to the tree, and Laura Dern just like takes her sunglasses off and she's just in absolute awe. That's how I feel every time I watch that movie, which is like every 2 months. Like it's just because it's in broad daylight. There's it's not like they did it at night in the rain where you can hide the visual effects. It's just perfect. Everything about it is perfect. And I love this movie so much.
And we talked about, I think what we failed to talk about in this whole list is, and Austin kind of brought it up with Jaws, is the
John
impact
Williams.
that John Williams has had on Steven Spielberg's career.
I mean, Jurassic Park has my favorite music out of any of these two. Like I think
that
it has
theme in that scene where they first see the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Is one of the best pieces of music in film history. Like
I'm glad you brought it up because I was going to mention it because John Williams did all of these.
Pretty much
all the good ones. Like he did Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, Jaws, Close Encounters, like all of the Schindler's List. They're all just John Williams, and it goes to show why he's been nominated for 54 Oscars, which is not an exaggeration. He's been nominated for 54 Oscars.
Yeah. He's one of the few people who has multiple years where he's been nominated for multiple awards in the same year. It's usually composers that have that. Like I remember in like 2012, Alexander Desplat was nominated twice for Best Original Score. That's a random piece of film knowledge that I have. But
this past year, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross were nominated for Soul and Mank,
which is insane to me. I love Trent Reznor so much. I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. So
yeah, the fact that the guys from Nine Inch Nails just won for a jazz movie,
a Disney movie.
Yeah, but that's based around jazz is very funny to me.
Yeah.
Tactical.
Number one for me is a perfect piece of adventure filmmaking. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it's not even like it. It should come as to no surprise if anybody tells you that Raiders of the Lost Ark is their favorite Spielberg movie. It's
no.
The scene, the chase and ensuing battle on the Jeep is one of my probably 5 or 10 favorite scenes in film history. Like that alone, the shot, like the whole construction of it. I think what makes Indiana Jones so special to me, and especially in Raiders, is how there's always in every fight there's ebbs and flows to it. There's always moments where Indy is about inches away from dying.
The propeller.
Point to the moment where they're on the Jeep and he's climbing underneath the moving car, and I think all of that kind of stuff. Like it's so. It's just all of the action scenes in that movie in particular are just so unbelievably exciting. And it's such a cool world that they've set up with Indiana Jones. He's one of the most iconic characters in film history. one of the few characters that I would consider
like Shrek.
perfect, and Shrek included. And yeah, I don't know. Look, there's not enough good things that I can say about Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know,
Is that the one where my boy Indy triggers something and a giant ball chases him?
Yes.
yes, that's the opening sequence of the movie.
Oh, that's a really good one because that's iconic. You know.
He's trying to
That's
steal
the
the
thing.
totem, but he sets off the trap and the boulders chases him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also has the best improvised scene in a movie caused by diarrhea. Do you know this story, Nunez?
I don't.
You know where there's like the sword guy and he's like throwing the sword back.
Yeah, no, I did know that.
Yeah, it's because
Harrison Ford had to take a shit.
yeah, he had eaten something and got really bad diarrhea, and he didn't feel like going through all the pleasantries and stuff, so he just pulled out his gun and shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that movie so much. Well, Josh, Austin, what deplorable things are you going to say about your number one?
Well, I mean, you were listening, some of his action greats. I think both of you guys may have left this out. Probably one of the biggest grossing action films of all time, if I had to guess. Starring two of the greatest actors of all time, really. And, of course, one of them did. But that's okay. A lot of famous people do that. I think Hook is by far the best Spielberg movie out there. I love Hook. I swear to God, if you give me all 7 of these movies I've just listed that I haven't even watched, and I had to rewatch one of them right now, I'd rewatch Hook 10 times out of 10. And it's not close. And there's something wrong with me for that. But I really like it.
Do you enjoy what Rotten Tomatoes describes as a syrupy quality to the movie?
Sure. Yeah, maybe. I call it scissor quality.
Oh.
What the hell was wrong with you?
Couldn't agree more.
I am in utter disbelief that
Austin just goes out the corner's mouth. Couldn't agree more.
Of course, that made my top 10. I mean,
I like Hook. I'm not going to begrudge you for liking Hook.
No, I'm not going to begrudge you either.
I give it 2 pluses after my grade.
Austin,
It's my double plus.
what is it?
Number 1, shouldn't be surprised.
The one movie you've seen.
My favorite actors in this movie.
It's Tom Hanks.
No, it is not Tom Hanks.
It's
It is
Matt
Damon. It's Saving Private Ryan. Best memory from this movie, I watched it on a plane. Watched it on a plane next to a child and their mother.
It's got to be the most painful plane ride of all time.
Yeah, it was really funny watching their reactions to me watching the movie for the 80th time because I've seen it a million times. Just funny watching people die, get torn up on the beach. And then it's pretty funny watching
that, wrong with you people.
That fucking soft fucking goddamn freaking I'll save the words. Not kill the German as he comes down the stairs. Everyone remembers the scene. The German and the other guy, fight at the top of the stairs, and the little coward guy is like slowly walking up the stairs as he hears them fight. And then he doesn't kill the German as he comes down the stairs. He redeems himself, quote unquote. It doesn't matter. That guy's soft. That ruined the movie for me. But, it's a classic. Tom Hanks staring at the face of a tank, shooting his pistol at it. Them giving you the illusion that he blew up the tank with his pistol. Obviously didn't, but them giving you the illusion. It had a bunch of great things going on in the movie. Great concept. Matt Damon, he's great in everything. Actually, he's good in everything. Never great. And that's what makes it great. This got my highest grade. Due to Nunez, he knows I'm a big realism guy. And because this movie was trying to be real, it does lose a lot. When a movie's not trying to be real and it's not real, then bango, boongo, we love it. But when it's trying, it's got to be. So it got a solid B for me.
The movie is very real.
It got a B for me. Yep. B for
Your
me.
best, just to be clear, your best Spielberg movie was rated a B.
And what I know is one of Austin's favorite movies.
Correct. One of my favorite movies is a B. just a lot of nonsense in the movie. You know, a lot of jibber jabber not needed.
People talking to each other.
But a lot of cool things. A lot of cool
Dialogue.
stuff.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't want any.
Yeah,
dialogue.
I mean, like, I don't know, like,
If you don't want any dialogue, you'd have a fun time watching Dunkirk. I'll tell you that much.
You know that one family who's just sitting up in a half-broken house just randomly, and they're the only family in that entire town, and then they hand their baby to the U.S. soldiers who were in a gunfight. I mean, that part, like, makes sense to me, but also it's like, why? Like,
it makes sense to you because those things actually happened.
Yeah, but they weren't the only family in that entire area. That was lunacy. That was craziness, lunacy. And a dad's always going to save his son first. He wouldn't have handed the daughter. Craziness goes on, you know. The realism factor, not there. Saving Private Ryan, no, great movie. One of my favorites. B.
But only a B.
B.
Well, I mean, again, it's kind of like the Indiana Jones thing. I mean, how good could a Spielberg movie be?
Very.
All right. Well, we've been going for almost 2 hours and I have a headache. So let's wrap.
My
this
pussy hurt.
Okay. Well,
Woo!
I hate it here. This episode sucks. All right. Next week.
Yeah. Choose a good director next time.
God, I hate it.
All right, we'll do Roland Emmerich.
No, shut up. Next, we'll do Mick G. We'll only be talking.
Yeah, we'll do
What's the dude? What's the dude? Rosemary's
Adam
Baby.
Mason.
Rosemary's Baby. Kid
Roman
Tut.
Polanski. You want to talk about
Polanski.
pedophiles? Yeah, sure. Let's do top 10 Woody Allen movies. We want to talk about pedophiles. All right.
Yeah, straight
Dude,
dog.
Adam Mason movies?
Who the hell is that?
Could you guess?
Is he the guy who
Just
directed
fucking with you.
Fucking with you?
He did direct it. He directed some other great movies too. So.
Like what, Austin? Other movies that you give an F++ to because you haven't seen. What other movies did Adam
The
make?
Devil's Chair, Hangman, Blood River,
I hate this show.
They Come Knocking, Junkie. I mean, these are American classics.
All right. Well, next week the main show is going to be back, and we're going to be doing our NBA postseason preview. The next time we record, it'll be the first night of the play-in tournament. So we'll be talking award picks, which probably haven't changed all much from midseason, but we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about our postseason preview next week. So in the meantime, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Hot Stove Pod. It's at Hot Stove Pod on Twitter. Josh, your traps are looking juicy as of late. I'm not going to lie.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's my best quality, dude.
Here on the YouTube side, make sure to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, smash the notification bell as well if you want to see more garbage like this. And also leave a comment if you feel like commenting. For the rest of my co-hosts who never cease to amaze me. And Josh is showing, or Mark is showing us a picture of, what is that, Poe's dad from Kung Fu Panda?
Oh no, you shouldn't have said that.
All right.
No, it's the master.
Like Kung Fu Panda?
How can you guys have a fucking movie podcast if you don't know who that is?
It's the master. I know who it is, dog.
What's his name?
I don't fucking
Master
care.
Shindu? I don't know.
Not that good.
Yeah, we actually do a good movies podcast. Sorry.
Apparently not. Jeez.
Yeah, bro.
We
You're
don't do a countdown to
Attack of
suicide.
the Clones and Kung Fu Panda. All right? I don't want to hear it. Anyways,
Opinion on movies. How can I trust your guys' opinion on sports?
you can't. Our opinions on sports suck too. So,
Yo,
anyways,
no cap.
I won't secede my opinion on movies. I think they're good.
anyways, we'll be back next week. For the rest of my co-hosts, I'm Zach Nunez. Thank you for watching. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.